Hello, everyone. I am so excited for video number 2, part 2 for our series on the real talk, an explanation of God and sex. So I want to start out with a question. And the question is, how many of you were raised in a home where sex was openly talked about in a healthy, proactive, beautiful way, and God was a part of that conversation, and that you felt like you were really embraced and taught this beautiful truth of how God designed male and female and why He created intimacy. I bet you, if I was standing in front of an audience right now and I could see your beautiful faces, and man, this is where videos can be really limiting because speaking in front of live audiences is just so much more dynamic, of course, because I can see your reactions. I bet you if we were live in an event right now, I would hear a lot of chuckles, a lot of head nodding like, oh no. And I bet there might be 1 or 2 hands that would raise to say, yeah, I was raised in a house where we had healthy, frequent, beautiful conversations about God's design for intimacy and for relationships. The other 98 and 99 of us would be like, no. Even if all 100 of us were raised in beautiful, loving Christian homes. And so I'm really excited for this series because it gives us the opportunity to do just that, to have some open, honest discussion about God's design for intimacy, for sex, and will really allow us to just have a lot of the discussions that maybe we were missing growing up. And certainly that question is not a dig or a negative on any of our parents or any of the people who raised us or helped us grow, because we can't give what we don't have, right? And if our parents didn't have this teaching, then they can't give it either. And so we're just going to have a fresh start. We're going to have a lot of fun and learn a lot in this series. And it's relevant to all ages. If you are watching this and you're in high school, well, then I am so excited because we are going to be able to discuss this at the prime time where you're probably starting to have some questions, you're starting to wonder, and we're going to be able to hopefully orient you in a beautiful direction, in the days and years to come in your life. If you're in college right now, bless you, you are in the heat of the desire and the challenges for young adults. You're in the heat of culture. You are the target for a lot of ads and marketing that touts, sex is the answer to everything. And probably are not getting a whole lot of guidance, about this whole factor of God and His design for sex, right? So this is perfect timing to do this series with me. Let's say you are, maybe a young adult who's starting to raise a family, or, you're starting to raise a family, you've got little kids. Of course, you're not having these discussions yet, but how perfect to start learning more yourself about God's design for sex, because it's only going to enrich your relationship with your significant other. It's only going to prepare you to raise your children in such a way that allows them to be more educated, to grow up in the house that has the healthy, frequent, beautiful conversations about God's design for men and for women, for male and female. He created them, right? So perfect. Let's say you have older children, right? And you're like, coming up on the time where you're sure they're going to start wanting to know more. Perfect. We have hit you at a great time to learn more and go deeper. Let's say you have children out of the house, or maybe you never had any children. That's perfect too, because there's never a time where it's too late to start learning more about God's heart. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what we're doing here. We're learning more about God's heart. We're learning more about why He created us the way He did, why He woos us into this beautiful relationship with Him, and nothing but fruit can come of that, right? So I want to start by talking about what is the common talk that is given, right? If you were raised in a home where there was at least a discussion, how does that discussion often go? Now, I realize this is a blanket statement that's like super generalizing here. So you all are going to have different versions of what you may or may not have experienced. But often the script goes something like this. Sex is bad. It's something that you should wait until you're married for. You're way too young for it. I mean, I'm like acting as if you're, in high school right now, right? You're too young for it, so it's something that you should wait for. But if you can't wait, then you need to use protection because you don't want to get pregnant and you don't want to get STDs, right? And that's usually about all we get. That's the talk in a nutshell. And sometimes in health class, we'll have like a series on learning more about the, I guess you could call it the repercussions of sex or the results of sex or the symptoms of sex, right? Where STDs, we could all get STDs or we could all get pregnant. And sometimes we're sent home with that crying baby that poops and pees and whatnot. I was the crazy person who loved that project because I've always loved babies and it was just fun to like be able to play mom for a little while. Total side note, was not planning on saying this at all, but it's just so cute. I have to tell you about it. So my daughter, who's 2, Charlotte, you met her in the last video. This morning, she decided to take care of her little kitty and nurse her little kitty. And it was just the cutest little thing, from such a little age to learn how to take care of someone else and to love on them and to feed them, right? So anyway, that was a total side note. Since she's not here to photobomb the video, I might as well just do it for her, right? But so cute. So a lot of times in health class, we kind of get this scare tactic. And I don't think it's ever intended to come to, it's not like, it's definitely meant to be a very good educational thing, right, for us to learn. And it's true. STDs absolutely are a potential result of sex. And yes, pregnancy is absolutely a potential result of sex. So that's all good. But oftentimes we come out of kind of the talk and health class with this like scared out of our ever-loving mindset, right? Like we're never going to look at the opposite sex again because we're going to get like these horrible diseases or we're going to have this baby when I'm 17. But then hormones happen and our natural curiosity and our natural desire trumps any kind of fear. And quickly culture starts promoting heavily, about sex and sex sells. Marketers are smart, they know. And so it's promoted broadcast. And so if there is silence from the community, the Christian community of truly helping us understand God's design, then culture is going to speak very loudly and we're going to be left with a lot of confusion, a lot of misleading, a lot of misdirection. The other day I was driving home from Cleveland and on one of the main drags there was this huge billboard. It was like right around Valentine's Day. A huge billboard, and it said, "All you need is love." And it had just a picture of a condom on it. And it just made me think, all of us are exposed to these messages all the time. We are surrounded by them. Honestly, I said a little prayer of gratitude, like, thank you that my children are not old enough to read that. But then again, if they were old enough, then it would just prompt, hopefully, I really hope, a healthy discussion of the misleading message that communicates. I forgot to put it on airplane mode again. See, this is a trial and error. I'm going to get good at this by the end of our series, I hope. Anyway, so this is kind of the situation we find ourselves in, right? Where we're surrounded by all this communication that misleads us from the culture and a silence from more the direction of like, so what did God really mean, right? And oftentimes a young man is kind of defined by his peers by his sexual experiences and a young lady is often defined by her peers by, well, were you able to keep a guy happy? Are you able to keep him around? And it leads us to making decisions and giving ourselves away, I guess, as you could say, in order to seek that kind of love. And so I kind of paint this broad picture of the situation that leads us to where we are as a society or individually. Because all of these factors led me to sitting back several years ago and just thinking like, surely this is not how God intended it. Surely the message on the billboard that says all you need is love with a picture of condoms, like, surely that's not true, right? But surely it's also not true that the reason I should avoid sex is because of this fear tactic. And surely God didn't intend for us to fear the opposite sex or to fear our own desires. Surely he didn't intend for us to shove it in a closet and hope it goes away because it gets us in trouble, right? And surely babies are not something to be, freaked out about. Surely using contraceptives isn't the antidote to promiscuity, right? And surely sex isn't something to be idolized as something that's going to allow me to be respected by my peers. Surely sex isn't something that is going to define who I am. All of it seems so wrong, so wrong. And so it led me to questioning a lot, digging deep and reading and going to classes and just praying, sinning. Please know, everything I'm sharing is not out of a self-righteousness. It's out of a I have screwed up. I have gotten forgiveness, been redeemed, screwed up again, gotten forgiveness, been redeemed, screwed up again. And so this is all out of the context of just trying to grow closer to God together. And as I said in the first video, it is through all of this questioning that has led me so close to God's heart, so deep, so profound, to truly start wrapping my head around why he created myself and you, the way he created us, and the beautiful design he had in mind when he created our desire for intimacy. So we'll leave you at that with the little cliffhanger, and our next video will go deeper. And our plan is to that's the wrong choice of words. We're going to pick apart what I kind of shared was the typical talk script, right? And one line at a time, we're going to pick it apart. And spoiler alert, almost all of it is wrong. And we're going to flip it on its head. We're going to explain why and pull in scripture. I should tell you, this whole ebook is only 15 pages in printed form. 15 pages, that's it. So we're not going to be here for forever. I'm not going to make 100 videos. I don't know how many it'll take, but it shouldn't take that many to get through. And I know that this is only going to scratch the surface. It's going to answer the broad stroke questions, and it's probably going to create a lot more questions. And so I would love for you to put down in the comment section questions that you have, any thoughts, any comments, and while we won't be able to get all those questions probably answered in this series, it will prompt me to know what to add on to after that, what to answer moving forward from there. So with that, I hope you all stay healthy. I hope you all are able to find some peace amidst the anxiety and stress that COVID-19, this whole situation is inducing. And until next time, I will be praying for you all, and I'm excited to see you in our next video.